CTV News with Carlisle Fizette.
I believe the tariff on copper, we're going to make it 50%.
U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening a new round of tariffs on a key Canadian material. Good evening. Carlisle is off. I'm Ricardo, Veneza. Trump has announced more tariffs that could hamper Canada's economy even further. The president detailing a potential 50% tariff on copper, but not specifying when it would be levied on American importers. Trump announced tariffs on pharmaceuticals as well could reach 200%, but would give drug makers about a year to, quote, get their act together. The tariff on copper would impact the roughly $9.3 billion Canada exports to the U.S. every year. The latest announcement follows another tariff pivot from the White House. Trump's administration walked away from his pledge to reach 90 deals in 90 days with countries around the world and instead will now send regular letters with new tariff rates. Canada appears to be spared for the time being, but trade negotiations continue toward a July 21st deadline. Now, a statement from Canada's largest private sector union says copper tariffs on Canada would be a direct attack on Canadian workers and another reckless move that threatens jobs, industries, and entire communities across the country. The statement goes on to say Trump's tariff justification doesn't hold any water, saying there was no credible evidence that Canadian copper threatens U.S. security, and calls on Ottawa to respond swiftly should tariffs be applied. Meantime, Internal Trade Minister Chrystia Freeland met with her provincial and territorial counterparts in Quebec City to talk trade today.
We are already starting to see Canadian businesses selling more goods within Canada as a result of the work that we have been doing.
Now, this meeting comes a day after a think tank report warned breaking down internal trade barriers won't compensate for the blow from American tariffs. Ottawa recently removed all federal trade exceptions. The government's new One Canadian Economy Act also aims to remove internal trade barriers, increase labor mobility, and fast-track nation-building projects, but faced fierce criticism for its fast-tracking through Parliament. New accusations today have sent shockwaves through the Canadian military and public at large. Two active military members are accused of plotting an anti-government militia motivated by violent extremism. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
We know that two of the accused are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Now, police allege three of the four have been planning to create a militia. And according to the charges, the plan was to forcibly take possession of land in the Quebec City area. With 83 guns and accessories, about 11,000 rounds of ammunition, and smoke grenades, police believe the group was ready to do something serious. A search in January of 2024 also turned up 4 pairs of night vision goggles and military equipment.
The fact that we could charge with facilitating a terrorist activity, that it means that people were actually preparing, were taking actions that led us to believe that they wanted to actually achieve something and wanted to commit this violent terrorist acts.
The RCMP has charged 4 people, and the Department of National Defence confirms 2 of them are active members of the Canadian Armed Forces. Matthew Forbes faces charges related to possession of firearms. Marc-Auriel Chabot, Simon Anger Odette, and Raphaël Lagacé are all facing charges related to facilitating terrorist activity. The terrorism charges span a period between 2021 and 2024 in Montreal, Quebec City, Petawawa, and Ralston, Ontario. Lagacé's friend of 12 years is shocked at the accusation that he would be trying to create an anti-government militia. It's quite the contrary, actually. He's very pro-government, very pro-monarchy, says the friend. Police say one of the accused created and ran this Instagram account, which was a recruiting tool for new members of the militia.
As soon as they start talking about seizing land, this goes to me to, I think about some of the militias operating in the United States that set up strongholds, areas where the federal government can't go, and try to really keep out law enforcement.
The 4 accused made a brief court appearance this afternoon in Quebec City, and all of them will remain in custody until their next court date, July 14th. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Middlesex London Health Unit reports a Legionnaire's outbreak has led to a death. As our Lauren Stallone tells us, there are now more than 40 cases.
A Legionnaire's outbreak has been declared by the Middlesex London Health Unit. So far this year in 2025, we've had 43 cases of Legionella confirmed, and unfortunately we have had one person die. The health unit says most cases live and or work in a 6-kilometer radius of one another. Legionella can spread on the wind after it's been aerosolized, and so it is a very large area that we are looking at, about a 5-6 kilometer radius of East London. We do not know yet where the source is. Health professionals say the bacteria is commonly found in warm, moist environments like hot tubs, air conditioners, and cooling tubs. This can cause a short, self-limited illness called Pontiac fever, where people get a fever, feel unwell for a couple days, but then get better. The health unit says people that are older, have lung problems, or are immunocompromised are at a higher risk of serious infection. Lauren Stallone, CTV News, London.
Well, London police have charged a man at a downtown weekend shooting. Police say a man was shot early Saturday morning in the area of King and Richmond Streets. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries. A 30-year-old London man is charged and remains in custody. Earlier today, officials suspect arson is behind a fire that charred a gas meter at a commercial property near the intersection of Highbury and Hamilton. First responders got the call around 2 a.m. that saw homes along Coventry Avenue evacuated. The fire is being investigated as suspicious. 3 people were hurt in a crash involving a London transit bus around 9:45 this morning in the area of Horton and Colborne Streets. One person was extricated while 2 others suffered minor injuries. No word yet on any charges from police, but the investigation is ongoing. A major update now for tenants in London and St. Thomas of a one-time absentee landlord. As our Brian Bicknell reports, he's been tracked down by police who allege he is the ringleader of a sophisticated grandparent scam.
Lighting, and then there was light, and we also have water. No problem.
Senior citizen Wendy Nichols doesn't worry about her utilities going off anymore, especially now that her former absentee landlord has been located by police.
I'm very happy about him being arrested because what right does he have to do what he did?
The rough estimate is a $2 million investment.
He is Gareth West. The self-described real estate builder is also the alleged ringleader of a grandparent scam. He was arrested last Friday in Quebec. The 38-year-old from Burlington, Ontario, was among 25 Canadians charged by U.S. authorities for allegedly defrauding seniors in Vermont and 40 other states. He had been on the run since March.
And the lies. He came to my door, lied to my face, told me he was a Christian man, tried to buy me out up there.
For tenants of 14 Holland Street in St. Thomas, the trouble began this spring when garbage stopped getting picked up. Then last month, utilities were shut off briefly until the city intervened.
That was very stressful. The hydro got shut off, the water got shut off. Even though it was only a few hours for a lot of our tenants, that was a long time.
Meanwhile, the experiences of tenants at a London apartment are all too similar to those of tenants here in St. Thomas. Utilities being cut off for periods of time and not knowing just where their rent checks are going.
We came here one day and tried to con everybody into handing $20,000 to move out.
Tenants at 308 Egerton Street in London also had Gareth West as their landlord.
We found out about Gareth's alleged grandparent scam back in around June this year when our water heater gave out and left us without hot water for about a week and a half.
West properties in London and St. Thomas have since been taken over by mortgage company RAS. Meantime, he's being held at a detention center in Quebec pending a request for extradition to the U.S. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Now to Toronto, where we got a new look at Therma Canada's plans for a private spa at Ontario Place. The company now says the complex will be smaller and will include a quiet retreat along the lake. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morse reports.
It's a colorful world of play and glee for the kids, tranquility and escape for the grown-ups. These are the updated plans for Therma Canada's controversial water playground and spa in a reimagined Ontario place.
The whole building is 25% smaller, and that's just sort of a combination of hearing feedback from community about concern about scale.
The pay-to-access facility taking over much of the West Island, part of a 95-year lease with the province. The design team is emphasizing 16 acres of trails, including on the roof, pavilions, and a new beach. But critics see this show and tell as revealing of something else.
Admitting that they're scrambling to put lipstick on this massive pig that they created.
Opponents had hoped for more greenery to replace what was removed from the West Island.
It'll take generations and decades for any trees planted now to reach the level of maturity of the trees that were already there.
The landscaper on the project says native plants are part of the vision and that the Therma complex won't block access to public spaces.
People will be able to understand that it's part of the larger Ontario Place. It is not separate from, it is fully connected to.
There's an attempt to counter criticism that what's going on the water's edge is a luxury spa.
This is the place for families to come, working families, to come and have a great day, whether it's in June, July, December, or February. And it's affordable.
With the target for daily admission set at $40.
It's our asset. It's our public space that's being given to them, and they're going to then come back and charge us for it.
And there's worry about more money getting involved.
30% of that land, they can still use that for their commercial purposes. So right now they say that's going to be open, but we don't know what the future is going to look like.
Therma says that clause is to allow vendors to sell food and drinks, maybe invite festivals in.
Construction on the Therma complex could start in earnest next year, but it won't open any earlier than 2029. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Meanwhile, Premier Doug Ford is looking to Alberta for help to build a railway to the Ring of Fire in northern Ontario. The deal is part of one of the memorandums of understanding signed by Ford and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith on Monday. The Premier has been trying for years to create a critical mineral supply chain which would connect mines in northern Ontario to processing facilities in the south. Meantime, the province's promise of a Hearth Hub in London pivoting from controlled consumption sites in favor of addiction recovery treatment centres to address Ontario's opioid crisis has missed its planned April 1st opening. As our Daryl Newcomb tells us, officials are unable to say when that new facility will open.
Learning from early adopters, like the City of London.
Last summer, London was credited by Health Minister Sylvia Jones with inspiring the idea for provincially funded Hearth Hubs to treat homelessness and addiction. But London's Hearth Hub at the Salvation Army Centre of Hope did not open this spring as planned, and it remains unknown when the hub will accept its first residents. The operator, Canadian Mental Health Association Thames Valley, tells CTV News in a statement, quote, "We are still waiting for funding confirmation to be able to move forward with hiring and having an opening date." Councillor Hadley McAllister emphasizes the urgent need for Hearth Hub services in London.
We talk a lot about health and homelessness. The healthcare component is absolutely a provincial responsibility, and we need those services online as soon as possible.
The province will spend $550 million over 4 years on 28 new Hearth Hubs. London's $6.3 million plan includes 60 spaces inside the hub, plus an additional 60 supportive housing units. London's Hearth Hub has always had an aggressive timeline for opening. Back in January, when CMHA Thames Valley was chosen as the operator, it was announced that the doors would open April 1st. But in light of the provincial election earlier this year, that date was pushed back to sometime in May. That's the last official date anyone's received. When asked about the status of funding, a spokesperson for the Minister of Health did not provide a date. Quote, "Our government is continuing to work with the remaining Hearth Hubs, including the hub which will provide services to the London area as soon as possible."
We need as many services online as we can, whether that's rehab, mental health services, or added supports to our hospitals as well.
This is our first big step.
The heart of Simcoe County held its soft launch at the end of June. 9 other Hearth Hubs opened on April 1st in cities where supervised drug consumption sites were closed by the province.
We can only do so much in terms of being able to provide people kind of the basic needs, but when it comes to those higher need services like addiction support, mental health, that's where we need the province to step in.
London continues to operate 2 low-barrier hubs initially opened as part of the local initiative known as the Whole of Community Response to Homelessness. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
This is actually the biggest camp we've ever run in Goderich.
Still ahead on CTV News, our Scott Miller shows us the efforts to bring in Southern Ontario's future healthcare workers. Well, Canada's main stock index was weighed down by losses in the base materials sector. You can see there the TSX down 117 points, the Dow falling 165, while the Nasdaq is up 6 points. The Canadian dollar also down today, but still above 73 cents U.S. Gold down almost $26 an ounce, while oil is up 40 cents a barrel. Well, Amazon is under new scrutiny over its business practices. Canada's Competition Bureau has approval from federal court to investigate if Amazon's policies violate the Competition Act. CTV's Judy Trin takes a look at the potential impacts.
Amazon currently controls 40% of the online market. It's a retail giant that dominates e-commerce. The Competition Bureau is mainly concerned with the company's fair price policy, which it introduced in 2017, and whether or not Amazon is using that policy to abuse its dominant position. The Competition Bureau has obtained a court order to compel the e-commerce giant to hand over records and information so it can investigate 3 questions. 1, does Amazon charge higher fees to sellers, forcing them to pass on the cost to customers? Secondly, does it prevent sellers from offering lower prices on competing sites? And third, does its actions lessen competition overall in the online marketplace?
Those documents will give the Competition Bureau visibility into how Amazon operates and if there are any incriminating conversations or incriminating exchanges within its teams or between its teams and its stakeholders on limiting competition, driving prices up, all of the things that the Bureau wants to investigate.
Although the Competition Bureau is investigating, at this point, it's not alleging any misconduct. As for Amazon, it says it's focused on providing customers access to the products they want at low prices. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening, calm and clear overnight, waking up tomorrow morning to the chance of showers. Thank you so much, Denise, for this photo of Ivy May. If you're heading out in the morning, you may have to dodge a little bit of light rainfall. Possibility of some thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. I'll have your local forecast coming up next.
Okay, CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison joining us now. Julie, after all this heat and humidity, it's nice to have a fairly comfortable day in London.
Yeah, we don't get too many of those where the comfort levels are quite tolerable without the high heat. As you mentioned, in terms of our daytime high this afternoon coming into the mid-20s, a feeling like the upper 20s, low 30s. But for this time of year, we'll take that for sure. We did start the day with the cloud cover, but breaking into that sunshine late this afternoon. It's nice and clear out there through the overnight. 17 degrees our low temperature last night. Tonight we're going to dip to about 16, so close anywhere as we head to northern areas of Lake Huron. Temperatures anywhere from 14 to 15 degrees, and then further south 19. If you're near Lake Erie overnight, 19 to 20 degrees. We have a little warm front that's going to play a bit of havoc with our forecast through the day tomorrow. It's going to slowly lift northward through the overnight and into tomorrow morning, and that'll generate a slight chance for some showers first thing. Not going to rain all day, but we will have some thunderstorms bubbling up as we get into the warm sector. That also means the humidity is going to slowly creep back in, so it'll feel like the low 30s through the afternoon, so a bit of a muggier feel to the air. Satellite radar, again, this is the boundary that went through. It stalled south of us, lifting back northward as a warm front through your Wednesday. Forecast model showing some showers through Middlesex County, eastern Lambton County, so brushing by Sarnia first thing in the morning and pushing towards the Chatham area as we head through about noon. we'll see a lull in the activity, and then the chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms will start to fire. So this is 5 o'clock. Not everyone's going to see storms. They will be isolated in nature. However, if you get under one, you get a lot of rain in a short period of time, because these storms, as that warm, moist air comes in, they have a lot of moisture to work with. As we head into your Thursday, we will be back into a nice mix of sun and cloud, and temperatures are headed up heading into the weekend. So Wednesday's forecast, a 60% chance of showers, possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon, and the real field temperature 33, so 25 the forecast high. Our East Park forecast for your Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud, and 27, 29 on Friday, looking beautiful heading into the weekend, but also hot and humid, becoming increasingly humid heading into Saturday. Mainly cloudy through the afternoon Saturday with a chance of nighttime rain. Showers expected overnight Saturday into Sunday, and then we're back into a mix of sun and cloud. Mixed on Monday into Tuesday, daytime highs anywhere from 28 to 31. We'll have some showers around this weekend in Midwestern Ontario. Again, the greatest risk window will be Saturday night into Sunday morning. Daytime highs heading into tomorrow, about 24 degrees, 26 on Thursday, 28 on Friday, and then some scattered showers over the weekend. Not a rain out. Daytime highs anywhere from 26 to 28 degrees. So Ricardo, forecast for tomorrow, chance for showers first thing in the morning, with the possibility of a few thunderstorms bubbling up as we move through the day.
Okay, Julie, thank you for that. Well, summer camps for future doctors, nurses, and paramedics are underway across the region this week. CTV's Scott Miller brings us that story.
Nathan Skin has been a paramedic in Huron County for the past 4 years. The Wingham native says living and working in his home community has been a great experience.
It's great for like commute wise and stuff, and like Huron County is like a wonderful place to work.
Today, Skin is trying to recruit the next batch of Huron County paramedics at the Discovery Healthcare Camp in Goderich. It's one of 8 such camps put on by Western University across southwestern Ontario to try and expose high school students in rural Ontario to careers in healthcare.
This is actually the biggest camp we've ever run in Goderich. So we're 26 students this year. Last year we were only 16.
Nita Unal is one of the campers. She's a local grade 9 student with an interest in helping people.
Healthcare can be pretty hard mentally and like just studying too. So I wanted to see if I was like really passionate about it, and I think it looks like that so far.
And that is music to organizers' ears who are trying to fill, amongst others, the current shortage of more than 20,000 nurses in Ontario. Well, maybe not as chronic or as acute as the shortage of doctors and nurses. There are not enough paramedics in Ontario. So there's a pretty sizable push on to try and fill those vacant paramedic jobs across the province. And there are more of those vacancies in rural Ontario.
The staffing issue is definitely like no joke in healthcare as a whole, especially in paramedicine. Like we're recruiting, I think we've done 3 hires this year and it's still not enough. So we're trying to get more. If we can even get like 1 or 2 out of this, it'd be awesome.
Discovery Healthcare camps wrap up in Goderich, Woodstock, St. Thomas, and Chatham this week and start in Stratford, Hanover, Sarnia, and Windsor next week. In Goderich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
At London Health Sciences Centre, there's new tech meant to help you find your way through the sprawling healthcare campus. Here's a look at the new Maze Map system.
London Health Sciences Centre, we actually have 3 campuses, University Hospital, Victoria Hospital, and then our Children's Hospital. It's measured in millions of square feet. And those campuses have been built over the years, so there's multiple sort of different buildings are all attached together. It makes it really complicated and sometimes confusing for patients, even staff sometimes, to find their way around. Looking at the tools that we owned already, our team identified an opportunity to help people, patients, visitors, caregivers navigate through the hospital. It's one of the things that we get feedback on repeatedly, I would say, from patients. It's difficult to find your way around in the hospital. At any of our entrances into the hospital, there's signage that's posted with a 3D barcode. So you can use that to access the application on your phone. You can even download it from the App Store. And as patients or visitors come in, they can also access our guest Wi-Fi. So it's free for everybody that comes into the hospital. That allows them to have what we call blue dot technology. So if you're familiar with Google Maps or you use it in your car, shows you exactly where you are in real time. It is live now. We have launched. The response has been really, really good. So people are finding that not only does it work well, but it's also reducing anxiety for people. People travel from great distances sometimes to be at LHSC. Some people even arrive, hours early because they're concerned about being able to find their way. This gives them some confidence that they'll be able to get where they're going on time. Of course, our staff and our volunteers are still here to help people. It's not just the technology, but this is really putting something in people's hands that they can leverage to get to where they're trying to get to.
Provincial police are highlighting motorcycle safety on the roads this summer, with blitzes being carried out across Ontario. CTV's Mike Lang has that story.
Motorcycle deaths on the rise. 57 deaths were reported on OPP patrolled roads last year, 11 of them in Central Region.
Oftentimes, after a collision, the first thing that the driver will say is, "I never saw the motorcycle."
With both drivers and the motorcyclists themselves sharing responsibility.
We have excessive speed, losing control, failing to yield right of way, and drivers not paying attention.
Police and a local chief instructor also pointing to speeding through intersections as a major risk factor, where an estimated 1/3 of collisions occur.
If you're just cruising through the intersection at 65, you may be going too fast to avoid the person that might cut you off.
At Georgian College's motorcycle training program,
we have to look at our own riding and what we can do to be better ambassadors of the sport.
Instructors making sure new riders do their part in keeping themselves safe.
There's little cues that you can use, with the cars that are out there that have the sensors on their mirrors and they flash. Well, that tells you you're in somebody's blind spot. So then you should adjust your position or make sure you make eye contact.
And wearing the minimum required equipment, from helmets to durable jackets, pants, and boots. Experts also urging riders to make themselves seen and heard as much as possible.
Some of the safety features would be switching out your exhaust to a little bit louder decibel so that cars can hear you as well.
Bright, high quality clothing. You want to be seen and you want to be kept safe.
The OPP stressing that riders must be up to date on their training and never assume that they are seen. Meanwhile, motorists are urged to give motorcyclists ample time and space and to be extra vigilant on the roads. Mike Lang, CTV News, Barrie.
CTV News London has a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local headlines. By signing up, you'll get local news content from CTV London direct to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewslondon.ca.
Well, finally for us tonight, we hop across the pond to Other London, where a legendary metal band received another honor to add to its list of achievements. The UK's Royal Mint has dropped a new coin celebrating 50 years of Iron Maiden. Now we'll see the band join legends like Queen, Elton John, and David Bowie in the Mint's Music Legends series. The coin features their iconic mascot, Eddie. Iron Maiden, I should say, has released 41 albums since forming in 1975. And guess what? They are still touring in Europe. Kudos to them. That is our time tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow at 6. Until then, I'm Ricardo Veneza. And for everyone here at CTV on both sides of the camera, have a great night.